Welcome to After the Final Bell, a podcast about what happens when an adrenaline-fueled career comes to an end and real life begins. Hosted by UFC striking coach Mike Gonzales and YouTube bounty hunter Trevor O'Connor.
It's not just about fights anymore. It's about what happens when the gloves come off.
And the real adventure begins.
Join Mike and Trevor as they chat about the highs, the lows, and everything in between. Life after the final bell isn't always easy, but it's always interesting. This is After the Final Bell.
So he gives you a job.
Maybe. I don't know.
He's like, close. A couple more good deeds.
Yeah.
Then you have to be a good ghost.
Maybe.
But what about creepy ghosts? What about creepy, scary ghosts?
Talk to Jesus, and then send them back, and then they live a better life.
Do you think they talk to Jesus, or do you think he's got people?
I don't know, man. I think
Because I know a lot of people die in a day. For him, for as much as he's got going on, the bankers and the high society people couldn't be seen going in to the brothel because then people talk. So there's actually a tunnel underneath Main Street in Longmont. I'm trying to figure out what's a skill you can learn now more effectively without school involved.
Okay, without school involved, can you at least watch YouTube?
Yeah.
Because YouTube's a whole university, I feel.
Yeah. If we could wake up tomorrow and robots would do all the work. What would people do? It's not your robot, though.
Oh.
You don't have a robot.
Oh.
There's just no jobs. Like, nobody has to go to work. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's off a social score. Maybe if you achieve this level of a social score,
Then you get this X amount of credits.
or you,
Or
I can travel to there.
so the tax is going to go up, or there's going to be a
There's a cost.
yeah, because nothing's free. We know that. Like everybody's got to pay something.
Right.
What's up, guys? I'm Mike Gonzales.
And I'm Trevor O'Connor.
This is After the Final Bell, a podcast about life after an adrenaline-fueled career has come to an end.
Blah, blah.
And
Real life begins.
real life starts. I don't know if it begins, it just starts.
There's no beginning.
No.
It's like a circle.
No, because
There's no beginning and no end.
Wherever you're at, that's just where it starts.
So when you die, what happens?
I think you die.
And that's it?
You go either heaven or hell. I think
Immediately?
that's the good.
How do you get to be a ghost?
Don't know.
Is ghost before heaven or hell? Is ghost
I feel like-
purgatory?
I feel like it's on the way. I think like you go. This is what I'm visualizing.
I need to hear this
You
now.
die. You go. Wherever.
I died. Okay, I die right now.
Yeah. You go to
What's
where,
the time frame?
I don't know. That's the thing. It could not be no time frame. You could just go straight to wherever you're supposed to go.
Then how do you?
And then
who decides?
God. That's what I feel.
Before I get there?
Well, I feel like what if
What if?
you
Mm-hmm.
haven't done enough, let's say.
To
let's
get
just
into
say-
heaven.
Yeah, let's just say.
Okay.
And then you're a ghost. And then
So he gives you a job.
maybe, I don't know.
He's like, close. Couple more good deeds.
Yeah,
Then you have to be a good ghost.
maybe.
But what about creepy ghosts? What about creepy, scary ghosts?
Do you think there's creepy, scary ghosts?
What about like the two little girls up at the Stanley Hotel, The Shining? How would they be bad and need to do good deeds? They were kids.
What happened there?
I don't know.
I just know it's haunted. I never really know why it was haunted.
But
But anyway, I don't know. That's supposedly, I don't know because
I need
supposedly that's
I need
people
more
are ready
from
to
you.
cross over, whatever that
I
means.
need more from you.
Uh,
Do you think? See, my thought would be
Okay.
you die,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's a period of time,
Like a waiting period.
maybe before you have to go, or you're they want to talk to you,
Yeah.
where you can hang out. Like if I died today, maybe I got a while. And time is different when you're dead. You're not on the same like time plane.
Yeah. So you think it's slower or faster?
Like being a ghost for 25 years is nothing in eternity.
Yeah. So do you think it feels like a couple days?
I think it's the same, but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. You don't even pay attention.
No, because you're in eternity now. Like there's no like birthdays.
You're just whatever you are.
You're dead. You don't age anymore. You're dead.
I'm gonna have to do some research.
So I mean, because if somebody dies and they're not quite ready to go, maybe they've got some unresolved shit, or they're and they want to hang out. Like Kay Miller's dad, everybody and their mom thinks that he still hangs out in our house.
Really?
Yeah. Because it like weird shit happens that's not like scary or malicious, just the kind of shit that he would do when he was alive.
Oh, just like randomly
just random weird shit where you're like, why is that? Just weird that only he would like, because he was kind of a prankster and just goofy and fun.
Yeah.
And so there's things that happen around here where, and the thing is, like the one thing he loved in life more than anything was Kay Miller.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he would do anything to get to still be
around. Like,
yeah. I mean, you watch movies and so, like, I mean, obviously movies are not real life.
Yeah.
Go figure. But you watch like sometimes they die and they go up and they're like, you have to go back and help right some wrongs or.
Well, there are those people that if you look on YouTube that they go in, whether it's surgery or they die and they say they talk to Jesus, and then send them back and then they live a better life.
Do you think they talk to Jesus or do you think he's got people?
I don't know, man. I think
because I know a lot of people die in a day. For as much as he's got going on, to have to talk to each and every one of them about their life and their sins and.
Well, I think if he can raise people from the dead, he can do anything.
I know, but it just seems like if I were him, I would have people that took care of some of the.
I mean,
the straightforward shit.
Maybe he does.
Like, I die. I was a good person. I go
because I don't feel.
I get to meet like St. Peter or somebody that's just like, you did all right. Your house is over there.
Yeah, but I also maybe because I feel like this might be unpopular for some people.
I love it.
Right, but when you die,
no if
you go to heaven, you get your house,
or you go to hell,
or you go. Yeah,
we're not talking about that right now.
Forget that place. Just might as well just be a ghost.
See,
right? But if you go to heaven, you get your house. It's hard for me to believe that it's going to be free. You're still going to have to do work.
No, everything's. That's the afterlife.
I know.
Like there, you get to go and live. Like you get to go and live the best.
You think
everything?
It just lets you be.
Why
lazy?
the fuck do I got to be a goddamn?
No, but I'm just saying.
Fucking lawnmower.
I'm not saying you have.
Why do I got to go be a lawn care specialist in heaven?
But no, what I'm saying.
You saying nobody's a lawn care specialist?
No, what I'm saying is like you're not like if you have your house and that's what you're in charge of. Like you're gonna probably have to do the maintenance on it, or what if you want to grow food? I don't know.
Well, you could garden if you wanted to.
Yeah, but yeah.
Or there's probably a garden right there in the community neighborhood that's just God provided. There's just always tomatoes.
So you think it's just you just wake up? I mean,
yeah, because you were a good person and you got to go to heaven.
Okay,
you weren't a shitbag that was taking advantage of the system. Figuring out ways to screw people over. And you lived a bad life and now you get rewarded with a great eternity. Like those people either stay in purgatory, the in-between until they can
figure it out,
either make it right or not.
Yeah.
And if they make it right, then you get to go up. Like I 100% don't believe that if I lived a good enough life and get to go to heaven, that I got to wake up and fucking mow the lawn. The lawn's perfect.
So it never grows?
No, it's perfect.
Okay.
The lawn is perfect. The garden is always there. You pick a tomato, guess what? You turn around, tomato right there.
You just have it.
No, you pick this one, you look back, right where that one was, fucking tomato.
Boom. Okay. We'll see when we get there.
I don't think you need cars.
Yeah, I think all that material stuff.
You just go.
I think is gone. Other than
what about a house?
Your house, yeah, but like as far as a car, like I think you're just gonna be able just to
Just blink.
I'm there.
I'm going to Mike's house. Hey,
Yeah.
Mike.
Hey,
Do I still have to knock?
I don't think so.
I just show up next to you?
No, because there's no. It's perfect, right? So there's no violence. There's no.
Sometimes we're not talking about violence.
Or there's no weird stuff.
Sometimes there's mommy daddy time.
Oh, maybe you just put a sign on the door. Because what
maybe
if there is?
maybe I block
Because I don't.
teleportation for that 7 minutes.
Because
You're like, I'm going to go see. Oh, no,
not today.
7 minutes.
Let me get lunch first.
But it confuses me, though. It really does.
It confuses you.
Yes, because how can there be ghosts, but there's also heaven and hell? And how long is there? I mean, are there ghost rules that you're like, I'm trying to get there, so I got to put in extra work?
I don't know, because obviously ghosts have been around forever. Because there's people that Stanley Hotel is built before we were probably born.
Well,
right?
Probably same year as me.
Okay.
You know,
something like
back
that.
in the old West.
Yeah, but how
Way older than me.
How old are those ghosts? You know,
Right.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Is there 100-year-old? Because a lot of times you see, like if you watch Ghost Hunters on TV or any of those shows, it's like they're always talking about this ghost that's there from
Speaking of ghosts,
1806. They
we
lived
need to,
in this
you know,
building.
you know what we need to do? We need to figure out how we could do it. But the melting pot,
In Littleton or
yeah,
the old
the old
downtown
library or
Littleton?
whatever. That's supposedly haunted, and they see things and things move, and that was actually on that show, Ghost Hunters.
We can probably go. We probably figured that out. There's probably a ghost tour, but I know there's a couple people in Longmont that do ghost tours in downtown, Old Town Longmont, and there's
some stuff.
So I used to, when I owned a bar right on 3rd and Main in Longmont, which is like the intersection. That was like the center of town before everything grew out.
Yeah, for sure.
But that was it. And so the building that my bar was in was the Imperial Hotel way back when. And then across the street was the bank. Big brick building, bank, vault. And that's where all the rich people in the area would go
Put their money.
and like they had special meetings and secret stuff going on there. Well, the Imperial Hotel kind of turned into a brothel.
Oh,
Right across the street. But the bankers and the high society people couldn't be seen going in to the brothel because then
yeah.
people talk. So there's actually a tunnel underneath Main Street in Longmont that goes down from the basement of the bank, which is now the Dickens Opera House and the Dickens Tavern.
Yeah.
So you go downstairs in the bar, and there's a tunnel
That goes across.
It's closed now, like they blocked it, but you can see all the stuff. It goes all the way under the street into the basement of
the bank.
My building.
Oh, your building.
From the bank to
From
my
the bank,
building.
Okay.
So they would go in, have meetings, go downstairs, come over, come up into the brothel.
It's funny you say that because so JJ's great grandfather was the concierge, the bell guy at the Brown Palace.
Oh.
And then her grandfather was the same thing. That's all they did. And there's tunnels there.
Oh yeah.
And we've got a watch from Walt Disney that he gave her grandfather. Walt Disney gave to her grandfather. Her grandfather left it with JJ's mom, and JJ's mom gave it to her.
Smart.
Yeah. So we have that, but he's like, yeah, there's tunnels. I used to take these people that were
Over
famous
there,
people
over there. Yeah. So they didn't have to be
underneath these tunnels, and there would be brothels and hang out.
So my old office used to be right, like if you look on my old Instagram or even dig into my Facebook and go back, you'll see pictures that I took out of my office window, and it's the Brown Palace, which was out, like I was on the 24th floor.
Yeah.
And so looking out my office window you could see the Brown Palace, nice triangle. I mean, you can see the whole thing.
Yeah.
So everyone wants to talk about stories about down there. Cool thing about Longmont, where my building was,
He used to have a book, and somebody, I don't know who ended up with it from the family,
like his notes,
just like people he came across and just things.
his stuff that he wanted to write
like,
down.
that would have been pretty dope to have.
Yeah.
But
there's like big stories about my old building being haunted.
Really?
Yeah, because when it's a brothel at the time, when the girls aren't making money that they should, and they're no longer kind of what people want, what happens? Back in the day, they just, and they would just kill them in the building and then take them out through the tunnels or out the back.
Yeah.
Well, then after that kind of faded, the brothel kind of failed after a while. They used it as there was a plague. I can't remember what it was. It was some airborne disease that was happening back in the day. I'll remember at some point, but they used it as an infirmary, like a hospital or a hostel for people that had that. They put them in that building because they couldn't be at the regular hospital because then it would just
infect everybody.
Spread infection. So, I mean, the number of people that died in that building is crazy. And there were definitely times, like, I'm not a huge ghost person.
Yeah.
But there were definitely times when I would close that bar by myself and I would walk, because to get to like my bar was here. It was attached to a restaurant. Like we had a common entrance, like a main entrance, and then you went left or right.
So like almost like a hallway type thing to where it's like.
Right.
Okay.
But it was like this room.
Okay.
Like you walk through the double doors and then
you could go left
you're standing
or right.
in this room and you could go to the left into the restaurant or the right into the bar. It wasn't like but we shared a bathroom that was like outside of the double doors down the hall. So there was a men's and women's bathroom down that hall. And sometimes, I'd go to the bathroom at night or had to clean up, and I would walk down that hall, and then just randomly you would walk through like the coldest burst of air you ever
Really?
Yeah.
Did it make you feel weird?
Yeah.
Like because something's like.
Well, because you're there by yourself for one, and then you feel that, and everyone talks about that kind of stuff. So, I'm walking down the hall and you're like, ooh.
Oh.
Looks like we're closing quick tonight. We'll clean this shit up in the morning.
Wait till it's daytime.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely stuff like that. And people so the second and third stories, they renovated into apartments. So people lived in the building full time, but they didn't have access to that main level.
Yeah. Would they get stuff?
I think, a lot of people talked about it being creepy.
Really?
But there's stuff all the way up and down Main Street. There's a ghost tour that they do.
Oh.
So apparently the Dickens Opera House used to be a big deal.
Dickens Opera House?
Yeah, in Longmont. And apparently there was a performer that I think she had an affair or got caught having a tryst with another actor or singer or something, and ended up hanging herself on the stage. And so a lot of people say, like late at night, if you go in there, like they get a vision of it, and then there's a bunch of stories.
Yeah.
So it was Charles Dickens' brother, Charles Dickens, the author. It was his brother that was the Dickens Opera House. And so there's a bunch of stuff. Like his house was a couple blocks away, and apparently he got shot through the window. And there's like a lot of creepy stuff.
Really? Dang.
Yeah.
More goes on in Longmont than I thought, huh?
Dude, Longmont was pretty disgusting back
really?
in the day. It was built on KKK money from Chicago.
Oh, dang. Really?
Yeah. If you go,
so it started out dark.
Yeah, it was not good. If you go research like the bad side of Longmont, I think there was like over 1,000 hangings right on 3rd and Main. Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm.
From like
KKK stuff or government? Yeah,
just wow.
Yeah, there's a dark history along that.
Dang, so it's not just a good town. It started out as a.
There's some stuff there.
Yeah, there's some bad stuff.
Yeah, we could probably do a ghost tour there for sure.
We should.
Kay Miller saw that the lumber baron mansion is for sale again.
For sale?
3.2 million.
Gosh, dang.
You got it?
Yeah, I could. If you want, I just go to the bank.
Next month or like now?
Right when we leave here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see kind of what the history they play with it now, or if they bring it back, because it's open. It was open as an event center.
Yeah.
Like you could rent out the top for like weddings and receptions, and you could stay. It was like a bed and breakfast type hotel. So you could go and spend nights there. You could stay in the rooms that they tell people that are the rooms that
What happened? Like
bad things happened in. So I wonder if this round of sales if people will try to separate themselves from it more or lean into it. Because I would buy it and lean into it.
I think that's part of the history, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
Or like what's made it popular. I mean, what would you like? It would be hard to like. It'd be dumb to buy it and then not play into it, and it's a building or house or whatever that's so old. There's no history here. We're just
a bed and breakfast. Come on down.
Come on in.
Yeah.
You know, like there's got to be some. Wow.
I don't know. I would go check it out again. Slightly underwhelmed the first time as far as like ghost hunting stuff goes.
Yeah.
But I've always been underwhelmed by the ghost hunting, mostly because I've told you before, Kristen and I go to whatever hotel is haunted.
It's just like, it's almost like you just got to be lucky, I think, to get what.
Or it needs to actually be haunted.
Well, I think it is. I just
Some
think
things,
that, I think it is. It's a luck of the draw.
I think the Colorado hotel in Glenwood Springs is only haunted by swingers. Not a ghost to be seen.
just a bunch of.
But some shit that makes you want to run.
Scared the shit out of you. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but
Kay Miller reminded me last week we were talking about scary movies, and I told you there's a scary movie that was based on a film short that a guy made, and then I interviewed him back in the day. It was called Oculus.
Like the.
Yeah, but it's not. It has nothing to do with that. It was before that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Oculus. If you check it out, there's a short on YouTube that's really good.
I'll put that in here.
And then there's a full-length movie that was made off of the premise of the short. But probably one of the last movies that kind of gave me the EBGBs as far as like being like overall scary, not just I know there's going to be a jump scare here, or there's just not enough cerebral scary anymore. I want to be scared. Like I want to be scared from almost the beginning. Like where you just know
you're afraid to get up.
Yeah, weird shit. Speaking of movies, Kay Miller and I went to the advanced screening of the new Mission Impossible last night. Mm-hmm. It's 3 hours long.
That's what she said. That's a long movie. 3 hours for a movie is long.
And it's not like 2 hours, 30 minutes, 2 hours, it's 3 hours.
Yeah, 3. That's a long movie, man.
What's
good for a movie? 2 hours?
2 hours.
Yeah.
2 hours, I feel like I got my money's worth, but it didn't like put me in bed at 11:30.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
To me, it kind of lands in the same vein as every other big franchise, like Fast and the Furious, the Bourne movies. But those were actually all good, I think. The Jason Bourne stuff.
Oh yeah.
Those were good. But like any of the big action series, it's kind of like that, where it's just over the top pretty much the whole way and crazy.
Oh, after you make so many, that's the only way to do it.
I mean, what are you going to get in Mission Impossible? Tom Cruise is going to like jump off of a plane or hang from something, and he does all these things.
Yeah.
There is just weird things about it to me. I'm going to watch it again because I wasn't sure if I liked it or hated it in how the edit went, because they did a lot of like Tarantino-esque or Robert Rodriguez, where it's not sequential all the time. Like it'll flash and you'll see something that's going to happen later.
Oh.
And then back into the time, like it moves around. And I don't know if I think I like it, but I think I would have liked it if they would have used those flashes to reduce total film time.
Yeah.
If they did all of those, like the sequence shifting stuff, and it was 2 hours and 10 minutes, I would have loved it. But with all that, they could have removed all those flashes.
Just too much going on.
And made it linear, and it would have been 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, which would have been fine, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Or Yeah, one way or the other. Also weird about it. It was in IMAX, so it's in their best theater. They're supposed to have the best sound.
Mhm.
It was ridiculously loud in unnecessary parts.
As far as like in the theater?
Yeah. Like ridiculously loud. Like
Really?
I was
For what?
unnecessarily loud, just in weird spots, just weird. I was like, why is the music
So loud?
so loud right now?
Because it's IMAX.
Yeah, but it didn't need to. It wasn't blended in with the rest of the movie sound.
Yeah.
Like if all of it was loud and you had to adjust to it, or all of it was
Low.
middle, like average, and you expect a little bit of volume variance based on
is
the
that the way that
action.
it's recorded and edited?
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I'm assuming they can turn the volume up and down.
But they can't change
You can't change the way it was.
like mid movie, do you think the guy's up there like, what did they say? Turning it up on the board. That would be weird. But also I'm kind of an audiophile. Like I hear music and I kind of pick it apart a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know who mastered it, but there were times when like the mids and like the treble and the mids were just did not sound good. Like noticeably you were like, that does not sound good. But it was all in the music. So it was in the what's it called? The soundtrack. Yeah.
Maybe they don't even care anymore.
But they should.
Soundtracks used to be a big thing for movies, remember?
Yeah.
The good movies, they all released a soundtrack.
Yeah. And all the songs, you were like, oh,
those are good songs.
it was just
but now
mixed
it's
weird. Like the sound was not great. Musically, the sound was not great. Good music, not mixed. But overall, I mean, it's exactly
Good movie.
If you love the Mission Impossible series, you'll like this one. It does a lot of callbacks to his old team that died, people that died along the way. A lot of callbacks to them. And I don't know. I
don't think you liked it.
I did not like it, but I did not dislike it.
Okay, so you're still. That's why you said you need to watch it again to make your.
Yeah, I would not buy a ticket to go watch it again to see if I like it.
Yeah.
But it's exactly what, if that's your thing, it's exactly what you want.
If it's your thing, you're probably going to think it's a great movie.
Yeah.
Right?
If it's your thing, you're going to be like, oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
But
Whatever.
if it's not your thing,
then you're not going to.
then you're like,
I hate it.
It reminds me of Gone in 60 or Fast and the Furious. Where everything is just.
I have never watched one of those movies.
They make it so crazy. Like they had one where they were jumping cars into space and shit.
Yeah, see, and there was like this thing I came across one time where, like, they're just behind like a green screen. There's this green,
Mostly,
they're just
yeah.
and it's like that's not fun.
Film the movie.
Yeah, just go out there, put the camera on the car.
Film the movie.
I
like the original Fast and the Furious.
That
was good.
I worked at a trailer shop where we actually had the trailer that was in the movie. Because I only knew that because the trailer shop that I worked at, it was there. They bought it. They actually bought it at an auction or something. So they were, doing the maintenance or whatever, so they could put it back for sale as used and all that, right?
Right.
So it was a Clement trailer, and I called the dealer and I talked to the guy. And I gave him because you always do everything by the last six of the
Right,
van.
last part,
And they're like, he's like, you got the Fast and Furious trailer. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, that was built specially for the movie. So hold on, that's going to take some time to let me figure out what it is you need, other than like basic breaks, but whatever we needed for it at that.
Because whatever they changed, you had to bring it back to usable.
Like, and they're like, yeah, it's built taller so that the car could fit underneath.
Right.
Right. And I walked out there and the trailer was huge. And those trailers specifically were huge, but that one was way taller. And I was like, so it took some time to get whatever.
Oh, that's so they could slide the Honda Civics underneath.
Yeah. And they built it just a little bit taller so that they could
And
adjust.
there's no anything hanging down.
Yeah. Yep.
That'd be cool to drive that, to be able to slide underneath it. Would you?
I wouldn't drive, but I'd be in like.
You'd ride with me?
I would ride.
With me?
Yeah. I would ride. I don't have good judgment when it comes to driving like that. Like, I know that I don't, but I think it'd be cool to be in the car. Like, yeah, let's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kay Miller would do it.
She would.
She's crazy.
Yeah. I don't have good judgment. I always second guess. So I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe.
Could be a good time or a bad time. Either way.
I just want to film cool shit. What are we doing for our next adventure? Have we talked about it?
We got to go, not ice fishing, magnet fishing.
Magnet fishing.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
You could go. Oh, you could wear that while we go fishing.
Are you making fun of my shirt?
No, I'm just saying. You could wear that while we go.
Dude, it's too hot for hoodies. And this is comfortable.
Yeah, that's fine. But they wear that. So
I feel you making fun of me.
I'm not making fun.
Your eyes are making fun of me.
I'm not making fun of you.
You are.
No, I just thought you got back from
Fishing.
Yeah. And you didn't. So I was like,
No,
all right.
I don't fish
Oh, okay.
at all.
But yeah.
Magnets, maybe.
We need to go magnet fishing.
Yeah. You got one job.
I know. I need to find that. We need to go. Let's see.
Today, tomorrow, the next day.
We could maybe do Thursday because I don't think I'm going to the gym Thursday. Ashley's fight got canceled. And I'm just kind of.
Now you're on. Hey.
I need
She's
to,
bummed, I bet, huh?
Well, she's fighting next week. She took a fight last minute in San Diego, so I'll be there for that against a different girl. So
You're already going to be in San Diego, right?
yeah, I mean, it's the same show, so it works.
She took a fight on the same card that you already have a fighter on.
It just actually happened today.
You're like, oh, gotcha.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Don't forget
Works.
my 10%.
Works.
I'll already be in the room.
I'll already be there. So, but
That's
yeah,
funny.
We should maybe we could go Thursday.
We just need a spot.
All right, I gotta find a.
We need the weather to be good. I don't know what the weather is.
It's supposed to be 70s, I think.
I'll take 70s.
Yes, I think it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be this hot. But
No, because yesterday was almost 90.
it's. I think I realized yesterday that I'm not ready for
This
summer.
hot.
But I'm. This is fine right here.
No more.
No more than that. Like I'm not like a
Low
super-
80s is fine.
Yeah.
Low 80s, you could do all, no
Mhm.
problem. Low 80s with a little bit of cloud cover here and there.
Great.
Beautiful.
hmm
If we could have a little humidity, it would be all right too.
Yep. I mean, I don't like it, but my skin loves it.
The humidity?
Oh,
Yeah, my skin does not like this, dude.
yeah. My skin, just because I already have dry skin, but when it gets humid, my skin
Dude.
loves it.
If I was a girl,
What would happen?
my name would be Ashley.
Really? Because you're just ashy.
Yeah.
Then we could just call you Ash.
If I do not take a bath in lotion, and you know I don't because I don't touch lotion, I'm the driest
I
person
thought
who
about
ever
playing
lived.
a joke on you and put some.
Shaking my hand with
That would be hilarious.
no. No.
You don't think so? That'd be a great idea. That'd be a good game.
No.
But anyway,
What
do you got on your list? I know
you want to talk about the death
Yeah,
penalty. Do you want to do a whole death penalty show?
kinda. We could wait for it.
Okay.
We can wait for it. Let's see what's on your list. And we'll see where it goes.
Did we talk about this last time? I'm trying to figure out what's a skill you can learn now more effectively without school involved.
Okay, without school involved, can you at least watch YouTube?
Yeah.
Because YouTube's a whole university, I feel.
Yeah. Like what
What-
was something that was school necessary before that now you would kind of almost be silly to go to school for it? Because you can just learn to do it and do it.
Anything with math, probably?
That's not where I was going.
Oh, okay. Where were you going? You be a doctor?
No, I meant like a skill as in like something people would go to school particularly to learn
Oh,
X, how to do this.
mechanics? Be like
Auto diesel.
Yeah. I don't think you need to go to school for that. I think a lot of the good
I think
ones.
you do more now
Well,
than
no.
you did before.
Yeah, maybe.
Because everything is so computerized.
Yeah, but all you do is plug it in and it tells you what's wrong.
That's true.
Like there's no really
Everybody has a diagnostic
there's no-
tablet. They just
Yeah, there's as the old people would say, there's no real mechanics out here.
right.
Right? Because
before-
we all known that one guy that it makes a noise. It's like, oh, that's the problem.
That's this.
I think that mechanics, because I do a lot of my own stuff that I like doing it, but it's also the labor rates for that just drive me nuts because I feel like just overpriced.
Unlike what?
Just like going to get your car fixed.
What do you fix on your own?
Everything I can. Everything.
What's the last thing you fixed?
On my car?
Yeah.
Or on my truck? I mean, I don't do the car because it's under warranty. Let's see. The last thing on that I fixed. I changed the brakes on that one.
You just changed the brakes on,
I changed the
on
brakes
Delilah's
and
car, right?
That too, but on my truck, I don't know. It was in the power steering, and I had to buy a whole new, like where the power steering goes, like the
gearbox?
cylinder
Mm-hmm.
thing that holds all the stuff. I had to replace that, put it on, and made sure that all the air was out. And I just watched YouTube. Yeah, I just watched it. And I mean, the part was, I don't know, $100. They would have charged me probably 500.
Yeah.
You know, I kind of actually, like, if I can do it on my own, I actually enjoy doing it. That's why I'm okay with doing it. That I'm okay with doing. I'm totally fine. Now I don't know.
I miss the days when you could own like an old Chevy pickup or an old Ford pickup, and you pop the hood and you could just see there's the motor, there's all the stuff, you know, there's no extra.
Yeah.
You know, wherever, you know, you're like, oh, that's the carburetor, that's a this, that's a now. Like you open the hood on even my Edge and you can't see anything.
No.
It's like, and you know where Tim, my son-in-law,
Yeah.
is
He works at a shop, right?
yeah. He works at like a German shop mostly.
Oh,
It's
that's
German
even more
automotive.
expensive.
Well, I've had him going through the BMW
Mm-hmm.
because it's had some issues. The transmission sensor was out, and you know he's ripped into it a little bit with his machine and reset some stuff and figured out like there's a transmission something that has been going on with it where it would either be in second gear when you started, so it didn't have anything off the line.
Mm-hmm.
And that car's fast off the line. So you know when it's not right. Or the idle was weird. But he reset it all and then we drove it and it drove great, but then it happened again. And then he took the transmission filter plug and he said that the transmission fluid was low, but it's also just, it looks like it hasn't been
changed.
So I have to order a transmission filter kit and all this. And it's like $380.
Yeah, because you got to drop that whole pan, I think, and
it's a whole new pan.
I've done that before on an old car that
it's a whole pan. Like it's not like you're not just replacing a filter. I was like, what do you mean a filter? You just pull out. He's like, no. And he showed me. It's like the whole thing on the bottom has to unbolt.
Yeah, and there's 100 bolts on it.
Yeah, and then you got to put everything like in a certain way, get it cleaned out, and then rebolt it and seal it, and then refill the transmission fluid. And I guess you have to do something in the transmission. He's like, he's like, it might just be that. It's just getting pissed off because it runs better when it gets warmer, which means the transmission fluid heats up and expands and takes up more volume. So it might be that. I would really like that. If not, he's got to rip into the transmission.
Yeah.
And it's going to be forever.
And most times you got to drop the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want that car running good so bad that I told him flat out, if you get my BMW running the way I want it to, you can have that motorcycle in the garage.
Oh, that's a great trade.
Kawasaki 636, good looking.
That's a great trade. Who wouldn't want to?
I just want that car running.
It's
cool. One of my favorite cars to drive.
Yeah. Hopefully you can get it running because that'd be the cheapest way anyway. But I think that's probably one of the skills that
mechanics.
You know, because
I will say yes to that.
I feel like that's one of those things where like you go work at a shop and they teach you the complete opposite of what you're taught on how to do a certain things, right? Other than the safety stuff, making sure you do it right, but as far as how you go about stuff,
just wrenching on cars.
Yeah, I feel
especially older cars.
I feel like that would probably be one that you don't need to pay for.
My thought was computer code,
like coding. I don't really understand.
Like software development and coding.
I don't understand how
all
that works.
I don't understand a lot of it either. Matthew does a lot of it for me for other stuff. And then our other guy, Obi. But I think the best coders and the best are just kids that just learned how to do it.
Yeah.
And I think you can be taught and you can figure things out.
Versus like having to go through the years of
all the
getting
schooling,
the science bio. What is it? Like an
computer
engineering
sciences. Yeah,
degree?
I think it's coding.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong. Maybe.
That's part of how they make apps, right? Coding?
Yeah.
Like stuff like
and
that.
that's the thing. Like you can hire someone to make an app that did not go to college.
Yeah.
And they know how to do it. So I think that's, in my mind, that was the thing that was like gone by the wayside. If you go to college for it now, it's almost like, why?
Yeah.
Just learn.
Yep.
Be young enough to learn.
Or open enough.
Because I want to learn, but sometimes I'm like,
Yeah, computers have never
brackets,
really been
comma, this, that. I'm like, ugh, it's a lot.
Yeah, computers have never really been never been interested. I feel like that's a whole cult, man.
But when you want something done a certain way, like when you're like, can this do that? It should be able to.
It should. But sometimes it's so hard to explain to people how you actually just want, like how you want it done. Like, this is what I want it to look like.
So when we were building the GTA server, I saw things in other servers or things that were in our server that I was like, that's really cool. But that one little piece of it, I want to use that for something else.
Yeah.
Can we I need that piece of it. Just
that little bit.
And so Obi and Matthew would try to dig in and find a way to rewrite that piece of code or extract that piece of code and put it into something that I wanted. And it worked some, and other times they were just like, dude, that's not how this goes. And I'd be like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Just do it. I like that. I want that piece of it. I don't want any of the other shit.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Some people are just really good at it.
Yeah. Not me.
No.
I can tell you what I want.
Yeah, that's easy. That's
I can tell you what I want.
Than...
No problem. I can tell you what I want. This will go with it.
All right.
Now, have an open mind.
Okay.
Okay? Because I know you don't like robots.
All right.
But if we could wake up tomorrow and robots would do all the work, what would people do?
What would we do? Become lazy. Lazier than we already are.
Lazy or experience so many new other
yeah,
things.
there would be people that for sure their minds are just.
But would it because it changes the economy, because you don't go to work.
No.
You know, let's say they can make a fast food restaurant that's as big as this room because it doesn't need people.
Yeah, it has its stations and
everything is automated. And there's a window on that side, a window on that side, and a window on that side. And on that window, it's Taco Bell. Right? That window, it's McDonald's. And that window, it's Burger King. And they're all in the same.
Yeah.
And, the computers just have all the stuff. And you put in, this is what I want. It knows. You take all the human element out of
I think a lot of
stupid kid that put pickles on my goddamn cheeseburger.
I think a lot of people would die off faster than we think. And
this is going to sound shitty, but would useless people die off?
I mean, yeah, and you would find out where those. I think that would happen pretty quick. I mean, not overnight,
right?
But faster than this. Like, it's going to take 20 years. I think it'll probably take 10.
But the next question is, because in my mind, I want it to be awesome, where it frees us up to do whatever. To go experience things, to do podcasts, like I don't have to work 5 days to have 2 days off, but one of those days I have to do laundry, mow the lawn, do this, do that.
So the robot would do like the.
Maybe. You have
to
take
need
care
more
of
than one robot?
No, maybe, but I'm talking about jobs. I'm not talking about. I was just talking purely about jobs.
Oh, job.
You no longer have a job.
All right, your robot is the one that's working the job.
Right, the robots, like McDonald's doesn't have any employees.
I mean,
McDonald's, all they have is
who's to say
kiosks.
Who's to say they haven't tested it?
I mean, it's possible, but I'm not just saying only McDonald's, but anything. Like we've automated. There's car manufacturers that, I mean, it's one guy running a line that used to be 30 guys that needed to be done. I mean, we could pare it down to the point, but what if we woke up and you didn't have to work? But everything was still, wasn't like, if you don't go to work, there's no McDonald's. If you don't go to work, there's no blah, blah, blah. A couple of questions that I could not find my answer to in my brain. It would give me a lot more free time. Well, it would give a person a lot more free time. But then how does money work? Because right now, money is a trade for time. Right? Yeah. Money is what a company gives you for your time. So if you're no longer giving your time,
then what are you getting?
But
if it's your robot,
it's not your robot though.
Oh.
You don't have a robot.
Oh.
There's just no jobs. Like nobody has to go to work. Like there's no taxi drivers.
So who owns the robots then?
I don't know.
How would the world work like that?
But if the robots could do everything,
then what would happen to us? That's why I think we would all die off faster than we...
I think a lot of people could die. But, I mean, you want to talk about the freedom part of it, where you're like, I could go and do all of these things, but wait, how do I afford them? Or does nothing cost anything?
The freedom part is awesome, right? Because you could, if now, okay, the robot's not doing your oil and gas or thing or nothing, and all you have to do is wake up. You know how many things you could probably think of doing every day? A bunch, right?
We could do a Mike and Trevor try things
every day.
Every single day.
Yeah. I don't know where the money would come from, though. Because that would be interesting to see like how...
Right. Because does nothing cost anything?
Well, nothing... How do I say this? I believe everything doesn't cost that much. It's just how much are we willing to pay for it is what makes it cost that much.
But it's not even... It's not that like...
It's like football cards, right? A football card or a baseball card only costs $10,000 because we all
someone was willing to pay $10,000 for it.
Yeah,
right. But that's not. I mean, I'm not talking about like goods like that. I'm talking about. I want to go dive the barrier reef.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to work because there's no longer a need for jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So I have the time to go dive the barrier reef. But does it cost me to go dive the barrier reef? How do I get to the barrier reef? Because I don't have any income. Or is there just now a universal income? Because you don't have to work, the government doesn't have
the universe. But how would
it's just credits? It's no longer dollars. It's like credit. You get credits for being alive. Credits for
but how do you get
maybe your social score? You get more
how do you
credits.
Get more credits than the neighbor.
Maybe it's social score.
That you got to talk to people?
No, like, are you a good person? Do you do good things? Are you...
Who's the judge of that, though? The robot?
Are you being a criminal? Criminals have poor social scores.
I mean, criminals. Some of those criminals are doing it right now. They just go wake up, do whatever they want.
But you know what I mean?
They're not paying for nothing.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's off a social score. Maybe if you achieve this level of a social score,
then you get this X amount of credits.
Or I can travel to there.
Yeah.
Without question, like you show your ID and it goes, oh yeah, you're cleared to go to the barrier reef.
Mm-hmm.
Boop, come on in.
Yeah.
The reason I think about things like that is because I watch so many people trade their life for money. Because time is all that work is trading your time for what someone's willing to give you for it.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like the people that just watching people just like trade their time for money and be miserable with life.
Yeah.
And
then they die.
It just seems like it just doesn't. To me, I just don't feel that that's what we're meant to do.
Life should be so much more.
Like what happened back in the 1300s? There's no electricity. There's no bathrooms. There's no nothing. There's no
money.
There's no money. We're just trading goods. Like, hey, I want those grapes here. I'll give you this or whatever they were trading.
I got beef. You got vegetables.
Yeah, like that's technically kind of what they were doing.
Barter system.
If we could do the barter system.
But they were still working. They had to work their farm.
Yeah.
They had to hunt.
Yeah, and that sounds way better.
Somebody had to build a house.
Yeah, but that sounds way better than
Unless
trading.
you don't want to build houses.
Yeah, but then you better be good at bartering.
Right.
But like, I've always, after a while, I've always thought about our life should not be given to working 40 hours a week every day.
Yes. And that is my biggest, that was the big picture thought for me for this question was, how many people do we know that have traded basically all of their time for money to barely get by, there's people that never leave the state they were born in.
Oh, I know.
Because they can't afford to.
Yeah.
Because it's not like that for them.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that never, and everybody has dreams. Everybody has aspirations that they're like, man, I would like to someday go see that.
Well,
but they can't because they're too busy trading time.
Because that's what you're like supposed to do, right? You
got to have a house. Got to take care of the kids.
You got to have a retirement. Do you really? Like, yeah, maybe. But at the rate we're going, look, everybody's bothering me. It's sparring day today.
Oh, did you go to sparring?
Yeah.
Did you answer questions?
Conversations. Oh gosh, that's a whole different. It was a good day for some. It was a bad day for others. But it's like going like at retirement. Like, yeah, you want to retire, but at the rate we're going,
I mean, really, I'm basically retired now. But I still have to work. Like, you still have to do something. If you're 50 years old and retired, you're not just going to be retired.
No, and the life I'm not saying my life is perfect.
But you have a good life.
But I feel like I have a great life. You don't hear me.
No, you work at the restaurant because it's extra money and you're helping out a family member and you kind of enjoy it.
I do enjoy it. That's why I go.
Right. Because you won't do something you don't enjoy.
No, it was either do that or drive Uber.
Right.
And I enjoyed Uber driving too. That I was,
dude. If I had to have a job,
but that's where like
I could Uber.
Uber was bad. You know what made me really think about like working and stuff like that is like picking people up, because I would do 2 different shifts. Right. I didn't like to do this part of the day because it wasn't that busy.
Right.
I like to
pick your times.
Yeah, I like to do early in the mornings, or I would like to do later in the evenings. Like start at like 6 o'clock.
People are going out to do things.
Yeah, but then I pick up people in the morning that are Monday morning, and they're going to work, and they're already miserable.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm just like,
and they don't want to chat about it.
No, it's just like
because they're going to the place they hate.
Yeah, it's Monday morning, and if you're working 5 days a week to prepare yourself to rest for 2 days,
and in that 2 days, you have to do all the stuff.
And to me, I told JJ this one day. We were actually on a fight week, and we were in I don't remember what state we were in, but we were getting shuttled to somewhere, right? And I said, "Isn't it crazy, like the life that we have right now? That people, and there's no offense to anybody working. Like if that's what you get, you
everybody's life is different.
You do you, but isn't it crazy to me that like we're driving by these people that are working the construction, or they're working the restaurant, or they're working.
Or you look in the car next to you,
yeah,
and that person's on their way to work.
Yeah, and it's like all they're doing is preparing themselves to like maybe watch you
fight
this weekend.
Those people are trading their time for enough money to buy the pay-per-view.
Yeah,
or to go to the actual event.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? I said that's actually pretty cool. Like,
yeah,
we don't really have. It's not and I would do like this and work until I die rather than retire. To be honest,
I would do gig jobs before I did a job.
Yeah, it's way better.
Uber or DoorDash. I probably wouldn't. We did DoorDash. Kristen and I both did DoorDash a little bit.
I could never do good on DoorDash.
During the pandemic, we both because we just.
Oh, but that was when people were killing it, though.
Yeah,
people were being generous.
I'd go out for like maybe 4 hours, and I'd make $200, $300.
Yeah, see, that's nice. But yeah, no,
I think it's way down for sure. But Uber, Uber costs more. We use Uber a lot when we are going back and forth.
Uber does cost a lot more. The only thing I don't like about Uber is they don't pay their drivers.
They don't pay them
pay them well. I know that some drivers, like I was talking to a couple drivers, they said like they've been driving since Uber started and they're on a different contract.
Oh, they have a better tier.
I guess years ago you used to have to sign a contract stating that we'll pay you X amount of percentage or dollars. And then when they traded over, they were grandfathered into that
They
old
got
contract.
the whole deal. That's
and
nice.
and they're the ones, and they said that every now and then Uber will hit them up and ask them if they want to redo it, and they're like, no,
I'm good.
because they get the good rides, they get the bigger percentages, and they make good money, you know. So
yeah, I think if I had to go back fully into the workforce, it would be gig. I would just gig job.
I feel like it's great because those are the gig. If you get a gig job, it's one that you want to do,
Right, and you can adjust and not miss out on. If you can't work today because you want to go to the grandkids' birthday party,
yeah,
just go to the grandkids' birthday.
Yeah, I just don't feel like going to a 9 to 5 every day because I see it in the restaurant. Like I do this, I go there because I just want to have a good time and I love to talk to people, I love to interact with people. See,
Right.
But you see the mom and the dad and the kids coming and it's 6 o'clock.
Yep.
And the parents are just miserable, but they don't want to cook at home.
No.
But then they come and they're just like, they're just like,
And the kids are
tired.
just like going and go, and they're like, oh, man.
yeah, it makes me feel bad for people.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, I love my life. I'm not saying it's perfect, but if I go to a restaurant, you ain't gonna see me miserable.
No.
I'll stay home.
And that's the thing. Like maybe I'm different. I definitely have a blessed life. My life is good. I love it. I don't do anything I'm just going to be miserable.
No.
If I go out to eat,
work.
it's because I want to go out to eat with my friends and
Yeah.
enjoy, or my family, and just relax and have fun and just be there.
And having a job that you're if you had to go to the office for the oil and gas, you spend more time there than you would here.
Right.
With people like
with traffic, it's an hour to work.
Yep.
8 hours.
That's 9
at work.
An
hour home. That's 10 hours.
Yeah.
And to do that, so I get off at 5. Let's say I get home at 6. Dinner's at 6:30. Do some honeydew stuff until 8.
And then both are going to bed.
Then you're in the shower and
off to bed.
Maybe vegging out on a TV show for 30, 40 minutes as you fall asleep.
Yeah. Like you spend so much time with people at work that shouldn't cost for you to be happy.
Right.
You should be excited and go want to work with, man, I can't wait. Like I used to, like when I worked at Annexer, this job that I was there for 7 years, that's when I realized like, this is not the way that was in 2006 when I walked out. Cause I was just like, I'm done
out.
Here. And I gave a lot of time. Like that's when the oldest was young and I thought you had to work and then, and I was working 12-hour days and but that didn't matter. I liked the people that I worked with. So it was good to like, I could leave home and still be happy.
See, and to me, it's either the job has to bring you joy.
Yeah.
Or it has to pay so well that everything you get to do outside of there is no problem.
Yeah.
It's it's not a job that brings you joy and you can barely eat.
Yeah.
Because it's so expensive to live. And so the job doesn't pay enough to outweigh the time you spend and it doesn't bring you any joy. And that's where you look around. And that's where 90% of the people I know, I look around and they're just
I talked to somebody yesterday.
Miserable.
Some guy that went in for just drinks and we were just talking at the bar because he was at the bar and he said something and I said, "Oh, you work from home?" He's like, "Yeah, but I hate it."
Oh.
He's like, I was in the hotel business for 10 years and I think I'm going to go back to that because I just love doing it. I just and it's like, that's great. Like, why don't everybody find
and it
something
just sucks because you almost wish that all jobs paid exactly the same and it was enough that you didn't have to stress about everything that you do.
Yeah, I agree.
Because jobs that you want to do, it seems like almost never pay enough to live. Like you have to have 3 of those jobs.
Yeah, you think that's how the credit score should go, or the social scores? Like if you get these jobs, you're not making this much and you're not making this much. Everybody's making this much.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Like how do you make it work? How does it work for everyone? How does it work to give people like
I think you would have to wipe us clean of everything first. And everybody live very, very minimal, like you know what I mean? Like you're not getting no phone. No, whatever. No, everybody wiped of everything.
No, you gotta have a phone because that's how they keep track of your social score.
Okay, phone. You don't even have like fast internet.
You just got regular internet.
Maybe.
If you have a better social score,
well, after
internet?
well, after you get like
you got to build up your social credit.
Once you build up, but like maybe the only way I feel it's gonna work is because we're so like everything is about money.
Mm-hmm.
If you wipe us clean of everything and make everybody struggle,
rich people would die fast.
Yeah, they for sure,
because they don't know how to struggle.
No, but everybody, man, this is gonna.
You and I could struggle.
I could struggle. I'd be all right.
I've lived with less than most people ever. I'm fine.
It's fine.
Whatever. Do I want to?
No. But if we had to, it'd be okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've lived the struggle, so I know that I have a blessed life, but I know that if you took all of my stuff away, I would still find a way.
Yeah.
So the next piece of this, we'll do this and then we'll get ready to wind ourselves.
Okay.
My mind went, I spent a lot of time thinking about all of this that we're talking about right now. And one of the things that I was thinking about, and it was stemmed by something on either social media or a news article that I read where they were talking about minimum wage being almost unlivable and jobs trying to only pay the very, 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 very minimum that they have to by law for that job. And I know that it's not something that could just happen because people still need to eat and people need to live, so they're going to take those jobs regardless. But I kind of feel like, and this is obviously me from my ivory tower up here and, a pretty soft life, but I think a lot of like minimum wage issues could be mitigated if everybody just decided I'm unwilling to work for that amount.
So you're saying,
like if Wendy's they had an opening.
Yeah.
And they're willing to pay, what's minimum wage?
Well, I think in Denver it's like 18 something.
We're not in Denver.
Yeah.
We're in Thornton.
I know, like, I know as a server.
Here,
like
we can find out. Wait.
Here, let's just put it in here. Colorado, is that what I'm putting? Yeah. It is 1481.
Okay.
Is what it said.
1481.
Which I make more than that on being a server.
So 1481.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll say we know it costs $25 an hour to live in Colorado. We're just guess. Like I don't know. It's I'm just making a number up. And I'm using Wendy's just because it was the first fast food place that popped in my head. So Wendy's starts putting up an ad for now hiring $14.81 an hour. Now, if nobody will take the job at $14.81, for them to stay open,
they have to pay more.
They have to increase what they're willing to pay.
Yeah.
And if people would just be steadfast and say, no,
I'm not going to do it.
No. Then wouldn't minimum wage kind of be mitigated? Like you've taken minimum wage out of the equation. But the problem with that is there's always going to be people that go, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I got to eat.
Yeah.
$14.81 it is.
Yeah, that, and there's got to be a way that we can put a thing on the cost of living stuff, though, too.
Yeah, everything in Colorado is terrible.
It's stupid.
Costs how do we live in Colorado? Because it costs so crazy much. Like everything is ridiculously expensive, and we've become like a cartoon of crazy politics.
I dealt with that yesterday. There's a girl that goes in. I'm not gonna say what side she's on, just because I told her to watch our podcast.
Oh God.
She's a nice. She's super nice. She's a super nice lady. I don't talk to her about politics because I do know like what side she lies on, and I'm in the middle, so I don't really.
You don't lean far enough her way.
No, but they went in for drinks, and they drank a lot, which was fine.
But then they wanted to get chatty.
But they start just cussing and carrying on about what this side's doing and what they're doing and what they're. I'm just like, wait, I got regulars that go in and that's all they talk about. It's like, why am I would never meet up with my friends and talk about, like, that's the last thing I want to talk about. I don't care.
No, my friend group is too diversified.
Yeah.
There'd be punches.
Like
most of the people that we know train.
Yeah.
And a lot of them have opposing views.
Yeah.
And putting them in a room with a bunch of alcohol and then starting a political conversation.
So
might as well be blood sport.
But yeah, if it's not expensive, it's politics. And if it's not politics, it's expensive.
It's very expensive to live here. And there's a lot of weird stuff going on. Politically, there's a lot of weird stuff. Like, regardless of where you're at, you watch the news if you're up Twitter, it goes off every 5 minutes talking about a new executive order was signed for this, this, and this. And you're like, well, that's different.
I feel like I thought, I mean,
but isn't
an executive order like an like this is it?
Like we're fixing something.
Why is everything
every day is an executive order? Yeah, but then just the other day I saw that our governor here, Polis, signed basically the Colorado version of an executive order, changing the language that ballots are written in.
So
because in 1988 here in Colorado, our Colorado State Supreme Court passed a mandate that said that English was the official language of Colorado and all government documents would be provided in English. So
what's it going to be provided in?
Now, and so that was that was a decision made by the Colorado Supreme Court.
That's crazy.
So that was that.
Yeah.
But then Polis the other day comes out and says that he basically signed a mandate that said, no, ballots are going to be in, I don't remember what he said, but it's multiple languages, more than one. But who gets to pick which ones are the most important now? And it sounds shitty because people are going to take this piece of it and think that I'm inconsiderate or that I am like, they're going to call me fucking, what are they, MAGA or whatever it is. To become a citizen.
I think I'm on your side on this one. I'll probably be on your side.
To become a citizen, you have to pass an English
test or whatever, right? Exam.
Proficiency portion of your exam. You have to be able to perform the functions of the test in English.
Yeah.
You have to understand and be able to.
Yeah.
So shouldn't that just carry through? You're a citizen here.
Mm-hmm.
Our government documents are printed in English.
Mm-hmm.
If you went through the correct path and you became a citizen, that means that you at least put in enough effort to learn enough English to be able to look and read and pass the
and understand.
So shouldn't you be able to vote on a ballot that's English? And don't get me, dude. Well, I'm not that guy. Like, you know me. I'm not
here's
like,
the thing,
I'm not racist. I'm not.
How is that even like, I don't understand why that's even a ballot or that's even an order. It's the United States. The language we all speak here is English.
Right.
Doesn't matter where you come from. Doesn't matter where you came from.
And I'm not asking anyone to speak perfect English.
No.
And trust me, I learned and I grew up in Spanish neighborhoods and grew up,
Yeah.
you know, half of what I heard was in Spanish, to the point where there's some things that I didn't even know that I was saying the Spanish part of, you know,
Well,
just because it was
You know,
around.
one of the things that drives me crazy, and this isn't popular either because I've gotten into arguments with people about it, is that I hate when people assume I speak Spanish. It
Yes.
drives me nuts.
I set you up for it, though.
It drives me nuts because there's people that will go to me and they'll speak, and I know I don't understand.
I set you up for it.
You do.
Intentionally.
I know. I know. But it drives me nuts that we can't.
Right.
Like, just I do speak Spanish.
I know.
And I tell people this all the time. Like, they're like, you don't talk Spanish. Like
If it's absolutely necessary.
you got to be, for me to speak Spanish out of my in my personal life, you have to be somebody of a good significance to my life. Like my grandmother, like no question. Yeah. Speak Spanish. But if you're just some dude that, no, you understand, because here's the thing. I could take you to Walmart and I can have them charge you extra and you'll say, no, that's not the price. That's not the price. It's like, oh, now you speak English.
Oh, now you get it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. The ballot should just be English. I'm with you.
All government pay, I mean, how much do you think it costs to print in multiple languages? I mean, if a ballot costs $1, now every ballot
$5?
costs $5 because it's
So the tax is going to go up, or there's going to be
there's a cost.
Hopefully, yeah, because nothing's free. We know that. Like everybody's got to pay something,
Right.
you know.
Everything costs. Nothing is free.
Nothing.
No matter what
Nothing.
you think in life, nothing is free.
Nothing.
Someone is paying for it. Just
You may
because
not-
you're not paying for it doesn't mean it's free. Someone is paying for it. Someone is paying for it.
Yep.
If you didn't earn it, someone else paid for
Yeah.
it. Yeah. All right. One thing I do have for us.
Okay. What do you got? A voice note? Don't even tell me.
I know you're not prepared for this.
Hi, Trevor and Mike. Question for both of you on the next episode. If you didn't have your fighting career, apart from you doing your oil career, where would you be now and what would you be doing?
If I didn't have,
If we didn't have like the fight life that you live now with JJ and fighters that you work with, and you know, I didn't go through I think he's lumping it together, my fight career and then probably the bounty hunting stuff that followed, what would we be doing?
that's a good question. I would probably be being miserable working 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I think so. That's probably what I would be doing.
If I wasn't in oil and gas, which hurts because that was a blessing. It pays well.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any of this to fall back on, I would probably be in excavating still.
I'd probably be still working at Amerisource Bergen, the
Medical supply. Yeah.
because
You liked that job.
I liked it because I was able to, like, they gave you, if you worked good and you, they calculated how much money you saved the company by getting things done faster. So like their benefit was whatever hours you save, you get paid. So I was working 20 hours, but because I was like
Busting ass.
Oh yeah, that I would get paid for 40.
Right.
You know, so if I always thought to myself,
That's my thing. Like if you tell me this is an 8-hour job and you're going to pay me for 8 hours, whether it takes me 4 or 10, it's going to take me 4.
It's going to take me 4. Yeah.
But it's quality.
Yeah.
I'm still going to do,
Well,
you're going to be happy with the job.
Well, the thing with that, because there were so many controlled substances, you had to be perfect and good.
Right.
Because if not, forget it.
Well, yeah, if you get
You know,
the FDA coming in, or,
We've had the
DEA.
FBI, we had the DEA there.
yeah,
Like, so
because they'll come and look at your shit.
oh yeah. So that's probably what I would be doing because I know that it paid well and there's going to be job security. Like, you
People are always taking medicine.
know what I mean? Like there's like,
Yeah, I would probably be in excavating.
yeah.
Excavating paid decent, but it was a job that I truly enjoyed because it was like a puzzle all the time.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you're putting, you know, a 24-inch water main
Yeah.
that's got to go 7 miles. and you have to cross roads.
Yep.
You have to do this. You have to do that. You have to keep slope for flow. You have to, there's so many things that if I could do it at 78 degrees every day,
you would do it.
I would do it.
Yeah.
But as soon as it gets hot out or too cold, like I don't do winter really well. So that's probably a hard pass at 30 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's brutal. But the job itself,
Good.
fucking loved that
Yeah.
job, dude. I had fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably what I'd be
That's
doing.
the thing. I'm not opposed to work at all. Like I can
No,
work.
I'm not opposed to work either.
I can work. I know how to work.
That's why, like, I do what I'm doing now because I know that if it ended, I'm totally fine with
Either
going
way.
back to work and be
Yeah.
like, you know what? This is you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but
No,
yeah.
but because we've done other things, realistically, we would find another hustle.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, more than likely, we wouldn't be going back to working for somebody else.
Yeah.
We would find something.
Yep.
We would create a job, create a business, do something.
Mm-hmm.
But
So,
that's that. I just wanted we got a
hey, at least we got
he
one.
saved
That-
he saved
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp by
Yes.
himself. And that's someone that I've actually had here, I'll show you.
Conversations with? Oh, all right. So at least he sent one.
Yeah. But that's a lot of text messages before that. But I didn't ask him to send a voice note.
No.
I think he heard and was like,
Yeah.
I don't want it to go away.
Yeah.
So yeah, send in
All right,
send in your
them.
voice notes.
Send them
Send
in.
voice notes. We'll play them. We'll answer the
Yep.
question. Not you, Matthew, because we can't understand.
No. But we'll play them just like we did.
Yeah. Matthew, get someone that speaks English
Yeah. But
and he could have someone else record.
Yeah.
But
otherwise,
I think that's. Oh, do you want to do a question
all right,
in
let's
the
do one.
episode before we log it out? Let's
Yeah,
see. Give
let's
us a
see.
number. Let's see if someone gets us one here real quick. Looks like the conversation in the chat was pretty good today.
Oh, good.
Okay, we got a question. Got 3. That's good.
Okay.
So we got Matthew, Nick, and Marjorie.
Okay.
3. They're with us every single time. Dude.
All right. Who do we want?
They never miss an episode for the
Which one
for
do
the
we want?
members live. Our first one is going to be 2561.
2560. Do you suck on or bite lollipops? I don't eat lollipops.
I don't remember the last time I ate a lollipop. What about hard candy? We'll just go with hard candy.
Hard candy?
Jolly Rancher.
No, I'm not biting that thing. You crack your teeth.
I'm not trying to break these.
Mm-mm.
$20,000.
No. Yeah. Nope.
I'll suck it all the way down to nothing.
Nothing. I'm not biting nothing like that.
Yeah. Or I
That's
don't bite it, especially caramel,
No.
because that's going to pull something apart. Scared.
Yep.
Scared to death. Yeah. Nope. Hard candy is not a bite thing.
Yeah.
Nope.
What else you got?
Nick said question 9.
Which living person do you despise? Which living person do you most despise? I don't think I despise anybody that much.
Do I hate anybody?
I don't hate anybody, I don't think.
Trying to
Because
think.
if I despise you, that means I hate you.
Yeah.
And I don't really hate anybody. You know?
There's got to be somebody that I just. And that's how I know that I'm not politically motivated, because most people would immediately say one person or the other, like based on party, they'd be
Yeah.
like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Obama, kill him,
Yeah.
I hate him," or
Yeah.
Trump, "Oh, kill him, I hate him."
Yeah.
I don't have that for either
No.
side, but I also don't think I have it for
I don't have it for anybody.
child predators.
Yeah.
I hate all of them,
Yeah, I despise them most, but
all of them. Like
yeah, I don't.
I'm trying to be careful with our words because
Yeah.
we've had to edit creatively a couple episodes recently because
get it.
we first put them up and they weren't monetizable.
Oh, well, yeah, but
Because I say
things.
everyday general thing, but
Yeah.
it's weird. So real quick, it's weird to me that like even on social platforms like TikTok, or you have to come up with a creative new word for everything where everybody just knows what you're talking about anyway.
Yeah.
like PORN. They have to say corn.
Yeah. Or they have to put the emoji.
Why don't we just all agree that we know what it is and we're okay hearing it? Or if someone chooses to no longer be living of their own accord,
Yeah.
you can't say they.
Yeah.
You have to say they unalived.
Yeah. It's the same
We
thing.
know.
We know. So
What? It's stupid. All right, last question.
Last one.
513. Dude, if I could see better, you could probably see them all the way from where you're at.
what has been your greatest sacrifice?
My hair? Giving up a lot to be here where I'm happy.
Yeah. Once you find happiness, then you realize like
Wasn't
how
even a
much
sacrifice. It was zero sacrifice.
it was
to be
zero
honest with you.
sacrifice, but you're like, dang, I did to give up.
That
lot.
is a big, like most people probably
But it's
not make that choice.
Yeah. It's a sacrifice in the moment, but when you look back, you're like, that actually,
Meh.
thank gosh.
Mhm.
You know?
I could work at Uber.
Yeah. Trust me.
What's yours?
Probably that. Probably giving up the security of just like knowing I'll have money to do things. But that's like, once I did it, I was like, you know what? That's why I said I can go back to, if I didn't, hey, get a job full time. Yep, I'm on it tomorrow. I got you.
Dude, I could live in this house and have everything that we have going on here, or
So,
I could live in a travel trailer in your backyard and be just the same.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
anyway.
But anyway,
That's that. We've wrapped up another Tuesday.
we wrapped up another Tuesday. I got to go to this
It's
signing.
51. Yeah, you got to go there. What time do you have to be there?
5:15.
Oh, you got to hurry. 45 minutes. Oh, it's only 15 minutes from here.
They
probably.
told me it was at 6.
Oh.
Delilah messed up. Now I'm starving because the plan was for me to leave here,
Grab
go
something
home,
to eat.
eat.
K. Miller, get him a snack for out the door.
Fucking
All
shit.
right, you got to go.
But yeah, but no, just giving up all that stuff.
Whatever.
Whatever. But
Whatever. That's the thing. You could be rich, you could be poor, or you could be both. And then have it all.
Poor people are
have
some of the
none it.
hatiest sometimes.
No, crazy people.
Or crazy people.
They're the happiest. Crazy people are the happiest.
They're fine. So, but yeah,
If I was poor, I'd be
they were just happy.
All right, I'm out.
All right, we'll see you guys.
Gone.
Bye.
Bye.